Hey YouTube, welcome back to Like a Doll's Eye Statue Reviews. Changing up a little bit from my usual sideshow slash Jaws reviews to give you a review on the X Plus Gigantic Series Burning Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Destroya. So to let you know a little bit about my Godzilla background as far as being a fan goes, Godzilla was it. He was my first. He was my first love. I saw Godzilla, the original. Oh boy, it's probably my earliest memory of watching a movie on TV. I remember the scene where Godzilla's spines were glowing. It was a profile shot, and he blew some fire. I remember it being in black and white, and that's my first memory of Godzilla and watching a movie on television on a Saturday afternoon. Anyway, after that, I became a Godzilla fanatic, and the only problem with being a Godzilla fanatic back in the 70s is there were no Godzilla toys to enjoy. Very bad, very, very bad thing. And I had the Aurora, I believe, Godzilla model, which I had probably like 8 of those because I busted through those every time my parents got me one. I mean, I try to be careful, but very hard to play with a Godzilla fighting other monsters when he's made out of plastic and glue. So I busted through a lot of those. Anyway, so as I've gotten older, they've been releasing. Godzilla is not hard to get now. He's a little expensive to get, but and both of my kids like Godzilla, especially my older son. So I vicariously live through him. So I have a ton. Well, he has a ton of stuff. We have a ton of stuff, but I get a lot of stuff for him and a lot of SH Monster Arts and everything else. But this bad boy, this one was for me. So I saw a picture of this online, and I was very impressed, but not 100% sold right away. They released this. Originally, this wasn't an X Plus piece. This was a piece that was originally made out of resin, and I didn't like the resin look at all. I thought it looked a little too jagged, did not have a realistic look to it. And so when X Plus first put this out, I was a little hesitant, but then pictures started appearing online, and I became more and more impressed. Godzilla, unlike a lot of other statues, lends itself pretty well to vinyl because, let's face it, Godzilla's original suits were rubber, and so the vinyl look kind of helps add to that look. Again, this is so I like the look, and I have no problem with the vinyl, and I think it looks nice. Again, this is from Godzilla vs. Destroya, so some of you that don't know Godzilla as well, the reason he's got this red, and this is very well how it's done here, it's kind of a translucent. Anyway, it's red because Godzilla in the films his atomic core was starting to go on overdrive, and he was burning up inside basically, and he was basically on meltdown. He was on a nuclear meltdown, and it's the film that Godzilla actually dies in because he does melt down at the end. So that's why he's got a lot of this red and everything. But just to explain to those of you that don't know the lore that well. So anyway, back to the piece. Very nice piece, very good detail. As you can see, I mean, I'm trying to get this into focus so it's not too blurry. You can see Godzilla's eyes are red. This is not one of my favorite suits, to be honest with you. I actually, of the 90s Godzillas, it is my favorite suit. I like the Burning Godzilla. I like his look. The 90s suits do have things that I like about them. I love the long tails that the 90s suits have. I love the dorsal plates, that they're overly large. The 3 rows of dorsal plates are really cool. My 2 favorite features of Godzilla are the dorsal plates and his tail. But I'm more of a Showa fan. The 62 suit is my second favorite. The 64 suit is my first. And I'm actually getting the Gigantic Series 1962 Godzilla from Godzilla vs. King Kong, which is actually probably what I think of mostly when I think of Godzilla, because I saw Godzilla vs. King Kong all the time when I was a kid. But anyway, so while I like the 90s version, there are things I don't like they gave him a more feline look, and I was never in love with the feline look of the face. And I just don't think the movies are as good. I mean, they're good films, but I prefer the Showa films. Even Son of Godzilla, which I find, the Godzilla outfit's awful, but I find the film itself to be a lot of fun. These movies were a little more serious, but the fighting in the original Godzillas was much better, a little more physical. These is a lot of special effects of fire breathing and lasers firing at each other. not a whole lot of hand-to-hand combat. I think a lot of that has to go with the suits were so bulky and huge that it was hard to have that confrontation, and maybe they thought it was a little too corny to have them going back and forth and fighting. But anyway, I prefer Showa and to the 90s films, and that's one of the reasons why. But I did like Godzilla vs. Destroyer. I thought they did a good job with it, and I think this is a great representation of him, but not perfect. This is not suit accurate. He's a little too bulky, especially in the legs, and that's probably the least flattering thing about him. I mean, to be honest, it looks like that he took a dump here. This is just a little too bulky and everything. There was somebody online that actually cut the resin here, reshaped it, and did a real good job of giving him more of a streamlined look that he had. Now, don't get me wrong, Godzilla in the 90s had huge thighs. Godzilla's always had big thighs, but not quite that big. But you can see that the paint apps are pretty good on this. Good job with the hands. I don't know if you get my camera's picking it up, but they do a good job at. Gosh, I got to get a new camera. Sorry about how bad this camera is. But anyway, they do a good job at bringing the darker paint here to the more bone-colored paint. The same thing with his toenails. So the paint apps are good. Everything's good about this piece. And it was a big surprise when I got it because I was not expecting it to be so big, even though I knew it was going to be 18 inches and was going to be an extremely tall piece, but he's an extremely long and bulky piece. And that's really what kind of makes him stand out and makes him really cool. He is my largest Godzilla that I have. I'm getting the 62 Gigantic Series Godzilla, like I said, and he's about the same size. And when they come out with a 64 Godzilla Gigantic Series, if they do, I will be all over that. Maybe when I get the 62, or definitely when I get the 64, this guy might end up becoming expendable. I might end up selling him more for room than any displeasure with the outfit. If he was my all-time favorite Godzilla outfit, I would absolutely keep it. But because he's not, he will probably become a little bit expendable. And I hate to let my Godzilla pieces go, but it's getting to that point in my life where my collection has just outgrown the room. And I could put him back in his box and keep him. And that's a possibility also, because my sons are big Godzilla fans, and it'd be kind of nice to pass this on to them. But at the same time, it'd be nice to get the money now and put that in the bank and everything. So, but anyway, very nice piece for those of you that I guess they've got a new one that's Comic-Con by Bandai. It's a Comic-Con exclusive of the same piece, and a lot more orange. The orange is brighter, and there's some more orange up here and everything. But I like this piece better from just judging from the pictures, because I don't like the real bright orange and everything, and the white spine here is very white on the new one, and I don't like the look of it. The eyes are a little brighter. I don't like that. And even though, in all honesty, brighter might be a little more film accurate, but I like how this is done. It's just kind of tastefully done. Again, the details are great. The teeth are awesome. And the tongue is a separate sculpt. I mean, everything's just done very well. Bandai does a nice job. This is an expensive piece, but no more than sideshow pieces are now. I think I got this, I can't remember what I got it for, but very nice piece. So those of you that are Godzilla fans, I will be having some more Godzilla reviews. I'll definitely be reviewing the 62 when I get it. And so look for my other ones. I got some of the 30 centimeters also, and I'll do some reviews on that. So talk to you guys later. Bye.